All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the trading room for the final day of March, the 31st, 3/31/2020. How are you guys doing this fine morning? We're starting out the day with the internals in a little choppy waters here. Big move down, and we're retracing back up right now. Let me know you guys should be able to hear me, I'm assuming. Dave, you are unmuted. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
All
Good morning,
right.
everybody. What's the good word?
We're going to go out like a lamb. I'm like a lamb and out like a lamb. Weather's perfect today in my neck of the woods.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I've been thinking about that since the beginning of the month because I think early March was really nice, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. So there's your weather report for the morning.
Yeah, actually, I mean, it's been a little chilly here. It's like in the 40s and 50s, but I'm really looking forward to some warm weather.
Hang in there. We broke 60 yesterday, so it's on your way to you.
Nice. Thanks for sending it.
You got it. Happy to help. Good morning, Andre. Good morning, Gary. There we go. Get you guys all situated.
Hey, good morning, guys. The Nordic's here. Gary, John, Ken, Tom B. Wow, Tom is never in here. Looks like you got a break. Oh, Tom, are you working from home today? Is that the deal? Everybody's in quarantine. Zach, good morning.
Yeah, Tom shot me a couple emails, and he does have the ability to do some homework. So
Good for you. Good.
anyone taking any of this action this fine morning? I had an early trade filming the MES Masterclass this week. For those that haven't heard about it, we had a nice trade setup and it executed perfectly. So I was able to not worry about the trading room. So I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, that looks absolutely fantastic, Dan. I'm looking forward to that.
We did. We took the trade right here, so it'll be in the day 2 of the video series. You'll see this one, and I'm actually superhuman. You guys will get a kick out of this without any spoilers. I caught your overall market. That's an interesting retracement on that Dow Jones, Dave. That's a really interesting video that you put out there last night.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, if you guys didn't see it, it's on my YouTube channel. In fact, I think I have a link here I can grab for you. But, it's funny. Janet Yellen comes out with a statement that they could not stop stock buybacks. And, when she was when she was the Fed Reserve president, chair rather, she didn't say anything about that. She said it's destructive.
Funny how that works when you're the one in charge and then the one that's not.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just unbelievable. She didn't say a word about it during the entire time. And now it's a problem. She says it's unproductive. Well, of course it's unproductive. I've been ranting about that for a really long time. They cannot find a better use of their money than buy back their own stock. Then they are in trouble.
And especially if they're borrowing it, right? It's one thing if they do it with their own money, but if they borrow it and then do it, that's no good.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a link, guys. If you haven't seen my update from last night, it's only 12 minutes long. It's a real short video. But we've 80% of the market from 2009 has been stock buybacks, and if that's not available anymore, and they basically said, hey, you can't do that, we could retrace the entire amount. That's my thesis, and I'm sticking with it.
The potential is absolutely there. I can see it.
Oh, thank you, Anurg. So, yeah. Shank, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. Haven't seen Shank in a while.
I know.
Everyone's coming back out of the woodwork because this is the time, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So how do the internals look today? What are we looking at here?
We're looking right in the middle of the road. We started
Yeah.
down right around negative 500. It's creeping back up to that zero line. But yeah, lots of choppy waters right now. Hitting the 50 and it's flatlining right now. Just barely above water on the volume. Starting to make it turn up. But like you said yesterday.
Doesn't look like the volume's keeping up though.
No, not look at that separation.
Yeah, real big. So it's going to be a choppy day. Look at the separation on the new one. The dots there are just huge.
Very up. Well, it's good to see you back, sir.
Did you see my tweet about the repos?
I did not. I have not seen any recent tweets.
Yeah, go take a look at the one on the repo. I got a little chart in there too.
Oh, is that this morning?
Yeah, that was this morning. The repo operations that closed at 8:45 had 0 bids and 0 offers.
No way.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
That's got to be a first.
Well, did you pick up the tweet? I mean, look at that. If you go back, I mean, there's hardly anything going on there at all. There it is right there. No bids, no offers either. Where'd the repo market go? Oh, yeah, the Fed went to 0 reserves. And they also announced that they were going to do unlimited liquidity in banks. So where's the repo market now? Off the books? Not reporting it?
Yeah, and I also just saw Josh had sent me an alert. I can probably see it. Let me pull it up over here. He saw this morning. Federal Reserve opens a 7th liquidity facility to supply U.S. dollars abroad.
Oh yeah. Well, those are swaps. They've been doing swaps now for about a week. This may be something new though. I have to look into that. But they started doing swaps with foreign central banks about a week ago. Usually they only do swaps with the UK and I forgot a couple other countries, but they open it up to 7 different countries now.
Yep.
Everybody's looking for those dollars.
Right.
Dollars.
So looking at that and looking at
that's insane. I mean, absolutely 0 going on in the repo market. That means that they're not putting it on the books. That was the last one. That was 237 on yesterday. But
so basically 240 when you add up the second one. Wow.
Yes, but I mean these are numbers that are dramatically different than they have been. Dramatically different. And also, I'm wondering, if they're going to do unlimited liquidity into the banks, are they going to say, okay, you know what, we're going to aggregate it all together here, and when they run out of reserves, before they go into negative reserves, then we'll do the repos. We'll accept their collateral for cash reserves because, even though the reserves are 0, they don't have to hold reserves anymore. But what if they go negative on reserves? What if they start going? They don't even have enough cash to open the next day. Then they do that 237. So it's like what? It's messed up. It is really messed up.
Let's see. I always check every once in a while. I haven't seen any recently. Let me check and see if there's any new ones on our bank closures, but I don't think they're hitting yet. There it is. I always keep an eye on this one.
Well, yeah, I don't think they've closed any. They've closed one this year, and that's because they're just feeding the bank so much money.
Yep. So that's not hitting yet.
No, it's just unbelievable. There's no way that a bank would be able to stay open when we're doing this much liquidity, or without this much liquidity. So they have to feed the banks. That hyperinflation scenario is coming really more and more realistic every single day.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna, after this little period of deflation here. I mean, look at oil
120.
18-year low yesterday.
Look at them pumping it right in there.
Yeah, the Fed's in there is gonna buy up stocks, I guess. I do not trust this rally though. I really don't. John says good morning. Good morning, John. Quick short VA trade today, in and out. Good for you.
Oh, nice work.
Good for
I don't
you.
even have a VA chart in this setup at the moment, so I can't even pull it over. I'm in a different workspace right now.
Yeah, let me take a quick look at it here. I think I got something.
Thank you, Shank. I appreciate that. I do believe you're going to like it, so.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit down today. So.
Yeah, YM's dead even. ES or NQ is definitely up, so short trade is on at 0.5% already. At least on the futures contracts.
Yeah.
What's the indexes looking like here? Yeah, about a 0.3, or no, that's up. Yeah, over 0.5% right now.
Yep, it's up right now. So short spread definitely worked today.
Techs are still outpacing as they have been throughout this whole ordeal. I like the little bear trap there that was set up a few days ago. Then it went higher, so that held true as well. Little dip down and a rally up.
Yeah, and look at the bullish balance of power. There's nothing in the first column there.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, this is already fading.
Not to be trusted. Not to be trusted.
BOP curves dropping off, like you say, and that's on the daily, so lots of data input there.
Yep.
And what's our other indicator looking like here, out of curiosity, on the 10-minute? Wow, look at that. Jeez.
Wow, they just pumped that thing up, boy. Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow. Jeez. Yeah, that's something, all right.
And
That's why the market remains very volatile, It's just unbelievable.
yeah, here's another reason not to trust it.
Yeah.
We're negative MT cent and this is rallying up. That's not going to last.
Yeah. It's either short covering, maybe some people were coming into the market short, doing a little covering here, so there's not much behind it, really.
Wow. Compare that to yesterday. We will see. Yeah, that's definitely the roller coaster. Today we're on an uphill at the moment.
Just in case you guys are curious, there's a couple things I'm keeping my eye on, which I have not started to put any money into yet. But one is USCI, which is the commodity index ETF. It's a broad spectrum of commodities, including gold, silver, copper, aluminum, and a number of other, and wheat. And so it's got ag in there. It's got a little bit of metal. It's kind of a pretty broad spectrum of commodities, kind of looking at that. We've been in a bear market since 2008 in commodities. I think that's going to turn as soon as we start to get some of that hyperinflation kick in. So I'm keeping an eye on that. Other issues, one that you talked about, Dan, was EPM.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so all the oils are up today. A little rebound from yesterday. EPM, Oxy, OXY, MRO. Those are the three I'm looking at. When I start to see that, and the dollar's up. See, this is the problem. You got the dollar up. I mean, we've had wild swings. If you take a look at UUP, yeah, that's a 5-minute, but on USCI. Let's take a UUP for a second. Let's take a little bit of a longer term view. I'll go out to a daily maybe, because 2008 and 2009, if we can get back that far. No, you might have to go back farther than that.
Yeah, no, that we're in a new. I got to just build a new deal here one of these days.
Yeah. But on the daily, we haven't had the kind of, look at that volatility on the monthly. We haven't had that kind of volatility since 2008. Look at that one big one in 2007 there. It's just unbelievable, the kind of range that we had back then. And so, that's indicative, I think, of the market that we're in. Yeah, look at that. Look at the wide. See how that worked out? I mean, that was 2008, 2009. I mean, it's just the volatility in the US dollar is crazy. Everybody's trying to, get their liquidity.
That's amazing how the open and the close is right there. And
yeah. So that's. I mean, if that continues, how do you have a world reserve currency with that kind of volatility?
Good luck on that.
Yeah, where's the stability? Shank asks, Dave, your take on how long this crazy volatility might last? Well, I mean, I really don't know, but if we have a market like 2008, 2009, we didn't really start to see the real high volatility until, or the volatility lasted from about August, September, all the way through November. So about 3-4 months. And then starting in January 2009, the market continued to go lower, but volatility started coming down. If we can use the dollar as kind of a proxy for volatility in the market, you can see that the volatility started to decline after 3 or 4 months. And so if we say, volatility really started picking up in this month, April, May, maybe by June, we'll start to see a decline in volatility in stocks. So we'll see what happens. But if you really want to measure the volatility in stocks, keep an eye on this index, the UUP. When that starts to calm down, then maybe the stock market will calm down.
So here's a daily chart going back 20 years.
Okay.
So there's recent. Looking at that month that we just had.
Yeah.
And we'll zoom this back. Look at those dailies. Wow.
Yeah, right through to the end of the year, really. I mean, we had quite a bit of volatility going right through the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But that started it. Those 2 days right there are just huge range. Yeah. And then right to the end of the year, and then after the first of the year, it just kind of calmed down and the dollar kept continuing to move lower. But
yep, so compare that to now. We'll zoom forward.
You're welcome, Shank. So yeah, this is a big problem because if we get a rise in the U.S. dollar, interest rates are going to go higher. It's just it's kind of a weird situation at this moment because interest rates have been on a downward trajectory. we've been anticipating that they're going to go negative. And if the 10-year goes negative, that's really weird. That's going to be super weird. And we'll see the dollar decline. But if they hold up, as the world reserve currency, a lot of people want to hold dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do, it's going to drive the index higher, and interest rates are going to move higher with it. Today, the 10-year is down a little bit, 0.68. So it's not, it's not far from zero.
I'll move that guy. I should look, what's the VIX doing?
Year to date, the 10-year is down 123 basis points. That's how far it's dropped. It's really very, very sharp drop.
Yeah, we just exploded there in February, and it's still looking at the VIX absolutely too. Well, there's some massive inflation. Hey, go over here.
What's that?
Toss is being funny.
Yeah.
Just doesn't want to move in the right spot. There we go. Okay.
So we were down 220 or so. I saw in the low on the YM futures. Now we're up 111.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I still find it hilarious on the Treasury's website under the daily yield curve rates that closed on the 25th. They have zero across the first, second, and third month.
Well, because the web page doesn't have a negative program in it.
I guess not. They can't put a negative sign in front of it.
That was I can't find my bookmark on that one right now. I was going to look at that. What's it doing today? Is it extended out?
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat here.
Perfect.
Flat. It looks like it's jumped a little bit. It's gone up a little bit, I think, probably with the good news on.
Well, look at that, at 0.04.
Yeah, bull market.
So when is this going to say 100-year on here?
Yeah. They added the 20. I remember you kind of broke that news. They added the 20 on it. When was that, like a month ago?
I think it was right around a month ago, yep.
Yeah.
Let's see if it even existed in the previous month. Let's just look at all of 2020.
They have it in there, but I don't.
Interesting. Yeah. It wasn't there actually at that time.
Yeah, I didn't think it was there either. Put it 2019. Maybe they're just trying to like backdate it, and they use data points to.
Just pretend.
Yeah, that's pretend. that's definitely pretend rates right there.
Well, remember, the bank can't go bankrupt either. This is all monopoly money.
Yeah.
You know what the question is going to be is with the world as it is right now. What are people going to use for tomorrow for April Fool's jokes? That's the question.
I'm sure there's some very creative people out there that will come up with some really good ones.
I mean, reality is already worse than anything you can come up with. Yeah, these are irregular moves. This is ridiculous. Look at these extended bars in the issues.
Yeah, when you see stuff like that, that's short covering typically, because there's no volume behind it. On the internals, the lines are separated. I mean, just big, really huge. So there's no volume behind those moves.
So if any of you are in this long, get your profits out now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Phone suddenly wanted to blow up. We'll move him over there. All right. Any specific questions that you guys haven't had yet? We're rolling right through. Half an hour done already. Shank says, with everything that's happening from the beginning of 2020, he won't be surprised if Godzilla turns up in April. Oh, that was fantastic.
You never know.
Anything is possible, right?
You never know.
And how's our world of crypto doing today? I think it's kind of strong at 17 and a half cents or so last I looked.
Yeah, it's hanging in there. 17.3.
Oh, did you see that email that Isaac sent about Mexico and crypto and stuff and the bank?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he sent us a great email. You definitely want to go check that out. It's where he's uncovered. Let me look at it just so I can reference it in my brain. Is
Did not see that. How long ago was that?
He sent it on 2 days ago. The Santander Bank doing some things, and then we'll click on one of his.
Oh, here it is. Okay, yeah.
Talking about outflows and money. We got $30 billion in remittances.
Oh, wow. Electra. Is that the email you're talking about?
One. So this guy has like 2,500 stores, and they're going to be launching it in like convenience stores, like 7-Elevens to us, where they're also going to be leveraging some for their payments.
Wow, that's crazy.
And there's the turnaround, right on cue.
Yeah, I see this remittance data from US to Mexico. It's been adding it's been increasing dramatically. Wow. Yeah, I'll have to give that a thorough read. Thank you, Isaac. If you watch this video, I appreciate that.
For those that are curious that aren't watching, we'll just pull over the quick chart. So the regular markets are just ridiculous, but the daily charts on XRP are not. So we don't have the massive volatility. Who's volatile?
Yeah. Yeah, right now it's stocks. So there's it's kind of interesting because you see that dip right there. When was that? What dropped all the way down to 11 cents. There's been a couple of speculations about that. Number one is that the government. Well, I'll tell you the more speculative one later. One of the things was there was not news, but it was directly communicated to somebody I know who is really kind of an insider on a lot of cryptocurrency and blockchain projects, was that over the last 3 years, a lot of the projects have stopped received funding, and they've also not been able to sell enough of cryptocurrencies in order to continue to fund their operations. And so they're basically, a lot of them have just sold off their crypto in order to fund and pay their staff and developers and things like that. So they had to sell quite a bit of their holdings. And then, and so it looks like a lot of projects are just gonna, just go out of business. They're not sustainable anymore. Developers are walking off the jobs because they can't, they don't have enough money to pay them. And then the more speculative theory is that this was a stress test designed by the government to crash cryptos in order to see which ones would survive a very, very sharp sell-off. And this is a really sharp sell-off. You're talking about the move from XRP from like 23 cents or so down to 11 cents is a 50% move in a single day.
Sure.
And so Ethereum, BTC, and XRP were tested, along with Litecoin. I mean, all the cryptocurrencies got hit very, very hard. Now we know that the CFTC approved the futures contracts on BTC a year ago, or a couple of years ago, when Bitcoin was at 20,000, because they thought it was overheating. The market for Bitcoin was overheating. They wanted to really kind of pop that bubble. They thought it was in a bubble. And so they instituted futures contracts so people could short it. And it drove the market lower. Now, so they're behind. They're behind a lot of the buying and selling that's going on, I think. And so now they stress tested the different cryptocurrencies to see which one would actually survive a systemic event of a 50% drop and which one would continue operating. Ethereum got locked up for like hours. Transactions were backed up. They couldn't handle the volume. If you look at the volume on all of the cryptocurrencies during that time, not just on Coinbase, but on all the markets, they were record volumes across the board. Bitcoin was locked up hours before transactions could be finalized.
Wow.
Or settled. Ethereum was locked up for a long time. Only XRP was able to continue to operate at a 3-second settlement. Out of all of the cryptos that really, really got hit hard. So just speculation on my part, but I think it was kind of like a stress test to see how they would do.
To see what actually would happen, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, they can't do it like a stress test on banks. They can't go in and review the balance sheets and make sure they have enough reserves and all that kind of stuff. The only way they can stress test it is by actually selling the market off really, really hard, and then figure out who's going to continue to operate and have that resilience. So we'll see. And then if Godzilla shows up in April,
that's going to be my joke for tomorrow.
I think I saw something like that on YouTube. There was this guy who did this video about the Federal Reserve pumping money into the system, and it was like a tsunami of cash just flooding the system. And they showed this old video of like one of the first Godzilla movies. You know how fake they were, and like this big wave coming out and demolishing the city, and Godzilla was right in front of it. It's hilarious.
Yeah, with all the stay at home, and I've seen some funny pictures of people putting on their dinosaur Halloween outfits and walking around like, oh, the dinosaurs are back out. It's hilarious seeing those. Stephen wants to know, why would Bitcoin lock up and not XRP, Dave?
It's based on the way Bitcoin transactions are settled. So in order for a transaction to settle on the Bitcoin network, it has to be confirmed based on its proof of work. So Bitcoin is based on proof of work. XRP is based on consensus algorithm. And so in order to verify a transaction on the Bitcoin network, each computer or those who are miners who are settling these transactions have to go through a complicated math formula in order to verify that the transaction is complete and real and it's not a double spend. And so that takes time in order to process those transactions. And when there's thousands of transactions going through the Bitcoin network, all these computers are tied up with each transaction to settle through this proof of work algorithm. And so they're all trying to solve this mathematical problem before that settlement can take place. With XRP, there's a consensus algorithm. The consensus algorithm says if there's a trusted node on that computer in the network, and there's another one that can confirm it, then almost immediately there's finality to the transaction. That's why it can take place so quickly, because they use a consensus network. Yeah, it uses a distributed consensus mechanism. So, I mean, I am not the guy to talk about that. All I know is that there's a little, I know enough that one is proof of work and one is based on a consensus algorithm. And I would suggest that you do your own homework on that. But the reason why Bitcoin is almost always slow is because it's proof of work. And in order to settle a transaction, they have to go through these complicated mathematical formulations. Yeah. And another reason is the block size of the Bitcoin network, the Bitcoin itself is small, and they're keeping it small because if they increase it, that's going to increase the time to actually settle that transaction. And then here's another thing too, is that with the Bitcoin network, you don't actually come to a finality of the settlement. It's a probability. So even though there's I think you have to have at least 6 miners say, yeah, this is a valid transaction. Even then, it's only a probability because all of the miners haven't
reported in
that it's a valid transaction and not a double spend. So, but with XRP, it's final. It's a final settlement. So, yeah, that's a great article. In fact, if you could maybe put that in the chat for everybody to go back and take a look at it and do your own research.
And it's from Investopedia, so it's not slanted one way or the other.
Yeah, they're pretty fair.
So it's one thing if you're reading it on one side of the house or the other. So yeah, they should not have a bias.
Yeah, except they got some facts wrong. Ripple is not the company behind XRP. Actually, XRP was created through a couple of developers. Ryan Fugger was one. He brought on David Schwartz. They created a company called OpenCoin. OpenCoin, I think, was created the first Genesis block. And then it was gifted to OpenCoin dissolved. They renamed the company. So it's kind of the same company, but not quite. And then they opened up Ripple, which is a corporation, and OpenCoin gifted those to Ripple. So some of the same people were involved, but the company is completely different and was created before Ripple was created.
It's one of those, they weren't the founders, but they have it now.
Yeah. So, I mean, some of the same players were involved, like David Schwartz and Jed McCaleb, who is the main developer for XLM, that kind of stuff. Yeah, so there's a big difference between proof of work and the consensus algorithm that XRP uses.
So when you stress it, that's why it basically wasn't able to recover as fast, because of the efficiency of the compute under the covers.
Yeah.
Anurag says, apart from the prices going up, is there any other way to earn for XRP owners?
Yeah, you can actually earn interest from your XRP holdings if you want to do that. I believe Celsius. You can do that with Celsius, Dharma, and Nexo.
And
I believe.
crypto, doesn't crypto too, like crypto.com?
Does it?
I think they might as well. There's a few of them out there that'll pay you interest for your holdings because they're basically borrowing it for you, right? Just like any other bank.
Yeah. So what? Yeah, exactly. So what they do is you deposit it with them, and then they loan it out to other people at a higher interest rate than you get, and that's how they make their money. So it's Celsius, Nexo, Dharma, and who did you say? Crypto.com?
I thought it was crypto.com as well, yeah.
All right, well, do your own due diligence and check those out. The one thing I highly recommend, well, I won't say recommend, but I highly suggest that you don't do is take out a loan on your crypto. So if you have a holding, if you hold crypto, you can go, they do go out and you can get a loan on it. It's basically a margin loan, just like you margin stocks and futures. And what happens is if you don't have enough margin or you don't have enough collateral for that loan, let's say you put up 10,000 XRP and you get a loan for like $500 or something like that. If your collateral falls in value more than 30%, they liquidate your holdings and now you're out completely. You had your $500, you don't have to pay that back, but they liquidate your holdings, so now you don't have any more XRP. And that happened in that drop, in that decline of 50% in that one day on XRP. I know some people who, well, it's not, they don't call it a margin call in crypto. I mean, basically, they don't even give you the opportunity to put up more margin. They don't like say, hey, give us some more collateral or we have to liquidate your position. It's all automatic. As soon as you drop below that level, they'll liquidate you. In stocks, typically they'll say, hey, you got 24 hours to put up more collateral or 48 hours, put up collateral, more cash or whatever, or we're going to liquidate you. You don't have that opportunity in crypto. They'll just take you right out. I know somebody who lost 250,000 XRP in that. It was just, everything he had.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I've seen a few. I saw someone with people are falling for the scams, so don't fall for any scams. No one will ever ask you for your seed passwords. Don't ever give them out. I saw an article where someone lost, it was a similar number. I think it was like tens of thousands of dollars worth of XRP because they thought they were actually a legit company and they were backing something up for them.
Yeah, never give out never get out your seed words. Ever. So, yeah, that's really dangerous stuff. Now, there is a new program, if you didn't see this, Dan, called Sum.
I have not seen Sum.
Vitamin came out with it's XUMM. This is really cool. It ties you, it creates an account directly on the XRP ledger and it converts to any currency you want. So let's say you wanted to send some pesos to somebody, some Mexican pesos or maybe some Philippine pesos or Singapore dollars or something like that. I think the only currency pairs right now that they have is the British pound or euros. I'm not quite sure in US dollars. But you can create an account directly on the XRP ledger. You can use the escrow. Yeah, there it is. You can use the X escrow. You can use, if you wanted to put some XRP into escrow that you don't access for another 6 months, a year, 10 years, or whatever you want to do, you can put it in there. Absolutely, it looks fantastic. I downloaded it yesterday. Haven't had a chance to play around with it, but it looks really, really nice.
Interesting.
Now you can send money back and forth XRP, or you can convert it to US dollars or euros to anybody that you want without an intermediary directly on the ledger, because the XRP ledger is a decentralized exchange. And now you can access and just this is the kind of development that is needed because it makes it very easy. You have your address, but they kind of and you can access that address, but they make it so simple for you to use. All you have to do is click a button
Nice.
and put a pin in, just like you would like a bank account or something like that. So it's really, really nice.
Yeah, Shank just found the article where someone got his stuff stolen. 14,000 XRP. There you go.
Yeah, there's a couple of different scams. One is that there was a plugin for Chrome, I think, that said for XRP, and if you downloaded that, they will ask you for your keywords. Yeah, and somebody was stealing them.
Right.
And then, all right, Stephen, have a great day. Talk to you Thursday. There's a couple other scams that are really just very, very clever.
Yeah, you send me one and I'll send you two.
Yep, those are, I mean,
they say they'll double whatever you send them. Never.
Yeah, that's just incredible. I don't know how anybody falls for that. I really don't. Who's going to, why would I have to send you XRP in order to get double back?
Right.
You know, why does that happen?
Send me $5 in the mail in cash and I'll send you 10 back. Are you going to do that?
There you go.
Well, just tell me to send me 5. Yeah.
Yeah, just send me 5.
Gary asked, I don't think it doesn't matter an opinion on where to get it. It all depends on where you live and what's available. So look at your state regulations, because Dave's in the worst boat. He might have an opinion about a lot of them, but he can't even exercise it because only so many exchanges are allowed in New York. So check your state, check your country, and what is available. That's where you can buy different cryptocurrencies.
Yeah. Gary, what state are you in? North Carolina? Yeah. So, I mean, unless you're in New York, I wouldn't have an opinion for you, but I do. I mean, Coinbase is the most trusted, largest exchange out there, but their fees are high. If you can access Binance.us, that would be the exchange I would use if I could, but I can't in New York.
Yeah, check those guys out, definitely.
Yeah, those are the only two places I would. Bitstamp is where I bought most of my crypto from 2017 through 2019, but they no longer accept debit cards. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with them. Their fees were pretty reasonable, and I trust them. At least I used to trust them, but I don't use them anymore. Even though I could, I'd have to send a wire transfer to Europe, and I'm not going to do that.
Yep, so check your research exactly, because there are a few like that only require wires. Some don't do ACHs, some don't do debit cards. So yeah, they all have their own little nuances.
Yep.
Nurog was asking if there's anything backing a digital asset. Well, that's an interesting conversation. I don't know if we so there isn't like a physical backing to it. So yeah, the appreciation it's absolutely speculation. And it's not backed by any physical asset. It's not backed by gold or anything, at least not at this point. Will it be in the future? We'll see. But there isn't like a physical backing to it, just like there isn't for any fiat in the world. Nothing's backed by anything anymore other than your faith and your credit.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you look at the paper dollars in your wallet, they're not backed by anything really, except for the faith and credit of the United States government, which is becoming less and less secure at the by the moment. The thing that does interest me, and one of the reasons why it's trusted, as far as crypto goes, and this goes for Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, and so forth, is because of the mathematics behind it. It's because of the algorithms that prevent the double spend problem. So when you have it, you can't, somebody can't just print up a bunch of them and, send them to you for payment. So it's mathematics, and you don't need to trust the network. You can trust the math. With the US dollar, you're trusting the government and any fiat currency, really, you're trusting the government that they won't deflate your dollar
A funny statement.
Yeah.
How much more can they deflate it? We're already at like 95% down, right? But they're doing a good job.
Yeah, I mean, 1920, maybe it was a world dollar. You could actually, it was full, now it's worth, I haven't looked lately, but I think like a few months ago it was worth 2 cents compared to what it was in 1920.
Yep. It's in the pennies now, somewhere between 2 and 5 at the most.
Yeah. Yeah. And another thing with XRP and Bitcoin, just really XRP and Bitcoin, there might be some other cryptocurrencies too, is there's a fixed amount. You can't print anymore. You can't create anymore. Ethereum is still in that kind of a weird place where they're actually printing a little bit more every single month.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But they're trying to change that, but they haven't done it. They actually announced a couple of years ago they were going to change that, but they haven't done the update to the algorithms yet. XRP is starting to move up again. We're up over 2%. So that's interesting.
I really hope somebody's doing a recording when that jumps. And it's not just you look at it the day after, right? It'd be fun if it was on here, like, here it goes. And like if we were sitting here
Yeah, I know.
and all of a sudden it just goes poof. I want to get that on video.
Oh, that would be fun.
More.
Yeah, that would be fun.
All right, we're getting close to the time, close to the top of the hour. If you guys got anything on your minds, let us know. But yeah, we'll be back on Thursday for sure, as long as I'm not actively recording the MES masterclass at that point. Today was perfect. Got my trade in before the market opened. That's the way I love it. Internals are leveled off.
Everybody's complaining about being self-quarantined and they're so bored. I've been quarantined for 20 years. Nothing new. How does XRP get affected if Ripple goes for an IPO? I don't think it's going to make any difference at all. I would be surprised. I mean, there might be an opportunity maybe later this year as the market has a real rebound, not this technical rebound that we're in. If we do have a real rebound lasting into the fall, they could, because the market conditions have improved, go for an IPO at that time. But it wouldn't affect XRP in any way.
Yeah, the difference of the company versus the asset, right?
Yeah.
Two are separate in value.
Yeah, it shouldn't affect it at all, I don't think. It might even help it. I don't know.
Yeah, worst case, it shouldn't hurt it.
Yeah. Being in you can think of Ripple as the new Swift. So that's the way I think of it. I think Swift is being outdated. It's going to be,
Needs an upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been upgraded in 40 years.
Right.
And so if Ripple does take the place of Swift, then, yeah, I think good things are coming. That's for sure. And at 17 cents, I mean, you really, it's ridiculously cheap at this point for the utility it brings.
Right.
Tom B, it's good to be live with you guys. Yes, absolutely, Tom. I'm so happy you're here. Yeah, I wish it wasn't due to stay-home rules, but take advantage of what life gives you. Absolutely. Hopefully you're safe, Tom, and you are doing well.
He's back on the horse. We're going to keep him busy.
The Nordic says new world reserve currency, XRP. I don't know about that, but I mean, I think it'll be in the mix someplace. I think the utility alone is going to drive the adoption. A lot of people are saying that, the USD can't really be the US reserve currency, or the world reserve currency, very much longer. I saw an article yesterday with Russia and some other nations kind of getting together and saying, hey, the US can't be the leader anymore in the world. And really what they're saying is that the USD can't be the world reserve currency anymore. We're getting tired of that. We need to go around. We're going to do something else and go around it. But if the SDR from the IMF becomes a potential world reserve currency, I think they're going to maybe keep the USD included in that along with other fiat currencies, but maybe instead of 100% of the world reserve currency, now it's only 80%, and they're going to add gold and silver to that mix in the SDR along with cryptocurrencies, maybe Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP.
So yeah, it just makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a dramatic change to say, oh yeah, XRP is now the world reserve currency. Nah, I don't think that's a pipe dream. I think it would be maybe added in a basket of cryptocurrencies. Take on XLM. If you look at the volume of XLM, I almost bought some the other day thinking that we could probably, it might do something, but the volume is just so low. I just don't think there's a lot of adoption for XLM. So, I mean, I think it was only like 3 million or something. The volume was just so low.
Is it even in my? I haven't looked at that one.
I mean, if you want to do something really speculative, I guess maybe it might do something, but if it follows along with XRP, I think. But if you go to Coin Market Cap, I don't think is HBAR. Do you have access to HBAR on Coinbase Pro?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope. You have to go to Bittrex. Is the only one I know currently.
But yeah, if you go to Coin Market Cap. Oh, by the way, Binance just bought Coin Market Cap. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, they bought it for $400 million. I can't believe CoinMarketCap does that much in ads.
Jeez.
Even if they bought it at a 10-time multiple, you're talking about a $40 million revenue from CoinMarketCap. That's unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah, so their volume was 331 million, 24-hour volume, and compared to XRP, which is like 2.5 billion, I think. And they they basically wiped out half of the total supply from 100 billion down to 50 billion.
Well, that's right. I remember
that? They burned half of the supply.
Yep. Is it on here? This is the other one that I would be.
Yeah, I like Hedera Hashgraph. And they're still real low. Look at that $6 million in US volume.
That was my purchase. I wish not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hedera's I like that. I like Kava too. I like Kava. I think that's a pretty good one. But I do like Hedera Hashgraph. Next generation, I think.
Yeah, this is my alternate. If I can get funding, I'm going to speculate on a little bit of Hedera HBAR for sure.
Yeah, I do like that project. I think XTZ, Tezos, has some pretty good use cases. It'd probably be like my second or third pick.
Where's that one? That's at $1.59. I'll have to do some reading on that. I don't know much about Tezos yet. The apps, smart contracts, okay.
Yeah, smart contracts. I think they're trying to solve the bottleneck that Ethereum has. I think Tezos has some potential there. So those are just a couple of projects I'm looking at.
Yep, you always got to keep around, keep looking, right? You never know what you might find.
Dig deep into the tech, dig deep into the white papers, and do your own research, because
absolutely,
that's where you'll find the gems.
All right, gentlemen, appreciate you guys coming out. We're about ready to wrap it here.
We'll see y'all guys on Thursday. Stay safe.
Exactly. You take care out there, Dave, and enjoy the warm weather coming your way.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
Take it easy, everyone.
Bye.